you. Happy Wednesday to all of you. I know you're joining us from different time zones, including our special speaker for today. So I make it like Happy Wednesday. And this is one of the most sought after session, I'm sure. That's why so many students are joining us today in the session. Carnegie Mellon University, as we fondly call CMU, is definitely, I would say, a must in the list of many aspiring students who wish to go for their higher education in the US. So today we are going to have an exclusive session by Carnegie Mellon University for Galvanize Global Education. I warmly welcome all of you to this session. Before we begin the session, I would like to give a few standard practices for smooth conducting of this session. First of all, I thank you all for taking time to join us today and sharing all the questions you had while you registered for this session. We have taken note of all the concerns and questions raised, and as far as possible, we have collated them so that all the questions are answered by our speaker today. However, there may be a few left out, or you may have some specific questions which you can post in the chat box directly to the Galvanize Education or the host. Kindly refrain from posting it directly to the speaker today, because we would compile all this and share with them at the end of the session. The other thing that I would like you to keep a watch on is we will be sharing with you one-on-one free consultation links with our expert counselors. Please avail them, who can help you achieve your dream of studying in CMU or any other such prestigious global institutions across the world. I think those are the important things that I would like to share with you. As we progress through the session, I may be giving you a few more tips as well. So without further delay, let's begin the session on Carnegie Mellon University, MS MBA and PhD opportunities for admissions, research, and careers in the USA. I'm your host for today. I'm Shanti Mohan, and I'm a former Education USA advisor working with aspiring students like you and help them achieve their dream institutions in the US. And working with students is my passion, and that's the reason I always want to be in touch with young minds like you, which always regenerates me. A quick look at what Galvanize Global Education offer to you. We offer end-to-end personalized solution for aspiring students like you that includes a perfect profile building, prepping you for getting good scores in your standardized test and English proficiency exam, and also give you appropriate guidance on admissions. We do this for universities across the globe, and we are not limiting ourselves to any particular country. What adds more value to Galvanize Global Education is that it's founded and managed by alumni from esteemed institutions like Stanford, IIT Madras, and IIM Ahmedabad. If you look at, we are not catering to only students from a specific country. We have students spanning across 65 plus countries, and that shows the credibility and the kind of advice and the kind of guidance our counselors are providing for aspiring students. So just to give you a glimpse of where all our students have gone in the past and also in the current admission cycle. And if you notice, Carnegie Mellon is definitely one of them. So we are so happy to host Carnegie Mellon University today in this session so that students like you can certainly benefit when you hear from the direct representatives. So we have a wide database of students, and if you would like to know more about how we support students, please do refer to our core archives. So here is a snapshot of Carnegie Mellon University, CMU. I don't think they require any specific introduction. Most of it, I'm sure, as students, you would have done your research already. But it's always the question like, how do I make myself or prep myself to be eligible to get into such an institution. So that's what our session is going to be today. The specifics here is we are having a guest speaker joining us from the Tepper School of Business. As a business school, it just does not offer only a business education. It combines business education with technology and leadership to prepare the students for the upcoming or ongoing AI-driven world. I would say always the specialty of Carnegie Mellon. Of course, a lot of universities offer this. Carnegie Mellon has excellent interdisciplinary programs which will interest students from any discipline, and they would be able to probably, get the best of both worlds if they are interested in multiple fields. Okay, so that's a quick introduction about the institution, and now we are going to have a quick poll for us to understand which program pathway are you the most interested in. Please take the quiz, please take the poll, and we would like to know how your interests are positioned today. That's fantastic. 65% masters in STEM and technology, which is definitely, I would say, unexpected number. Masters in business and management, of course, a few MBA people, PhD research, still exploring. That's interesting. Maybe that you're not considering an immediate intake. Maybe you're looking to spend a year to think about your next level of program. Yeah, fantastic. I'm just trying to find out. Linus, could you please post all your queries in the chat box? I'm unable to take any questions at this point of time. I appreciate 75% of the students have participated in the poll. Probably we can give them a quick 20 seconds so that the number goes up a little more. So, Masters in STEM technology tops the list with next in line, Masters in Business and Management, and then comes MBA, and of course, PhD is second in the list. Thank you very much, and I think we will now get going with our session. That helps us to understand most of you are leaning towards STEM and okay. So it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, Dr. Tony Gomez, who is the Senior Associate Director of Master's Admissions at Tepper School of Business. Tony joined the team as a Senior Associate Director, and he leads the recruitment strategy and also external partnerships building. He supports the underrepresented minority candidates and collaborates with diversity partners and student affinity groups. That shows Tony's passion towards working with students. And also his doctorate in higher education is certainly a proof that how passionate he is about education and the students. So without further delay, I now welcome Dr. Tony Gomez to take over the session and present about CMU's Tepper School of Business and what are the options the school can offer to students who have joined today. Over to you, Tony.
Thank you, Shanti. I appreciate the introduction, and I thank everybody for joining me today. Thank you very much. After I'm sure you've had some busy days or just getting your day started here. Let us see here. Forgive my elder millennial delay here as I start sharing my screen. Okay, so again, welcome everybody. As Shanti said, my name is Dr. Tony Gomez. I am a Senior Associate Director of Master's Admissions over at the Tepper School of Business. For all intents and purposes, I oversee recruitment for all of our master's degree programs at the Tepper School, especially our full-time MBA. Today, we're going to be exploring that MBA program, Tepper's full-time MBA program, which we define as the STEM MBA for the AI economy. For those looking to sort of bridge that gap between advanced technology and strategic leadership, well, quite frankly, there's no place better to do that than here at Carnegie Mellon University. So my quick agenda for today, we're going to explore a little bit about what your MBA journey could look like. It'll be about a 25-minute presentation, followed by what I call a fireside chat where I'm answering those questions that you had pre-submitted. Please feel free to use the general chat to engage. Please refrain from direct messaging me. I can't see it while I have my presentation up. If there are any questions, add them to the general chat or direct them to to Galvanize's moderators, please. All right, my friends. So, what makes Tepper Tepper? What makes us unique? Well, we sit at the intersection of Carnegie Mellon. So we are getting the best of the interdisciplinary DNA of the university. We're able to combine analytical rigor with leadership development. As part of CMU, you're going to be part of the innovative ecosystem, as well as a small collaborative MBA community where people really support one another. What sets Tepper apart from others, though? It's our focus on analytical depth, right? Mastering the data behind the decision that you're making. In an increasingly competitive global market, we also provide AI integration in order to help future-proof your career. You aren't just doing business school, you're joining the entire Carnegie Mellon ecosystem of tech and innovation, right? So you're getting to pick courses from all across the major schools of Carnegie Mellon, all across our seven academic schools. If you want to take something from the School of Computer Science, you are more than welcome to, as long as you qualify for that course. If you want to try your hand at an Intro to Acting course through our world-renowned School of Drama, you're able to do that as well. The options truly are limitless for you to design the curriculum that you want for your MBA. We also recognize that, in many of your cases, you would be moving across the world, and that's a big step, which is why we are small by design. That philosophy is crucial to who we are. We're ensuring that you're part of a tight-knit, collaborative global community where you are not just a number. Furthermore, as you see later on in the presentation, you're going to be working with our Accelerate Leadership Center. That center provides executive coaches to help you navigate your personalized professional development in communications and leadership. Our curriculum, as I mentioned, is highly customizable. Not only are you able to take electives from outside of the Tepper School, you're able to customize this with 14 concentrations and 5 tracks. Concentrations provide breadth of many topics, while your tracks provide depth within one topic. Many of our students are completing 3 to 5 concentrations. One concentration is required to graduate. The most you would be able to do as far as tracks would be 1, just because of the amount of classes that you would have to take in that. Given the strong tech backgrounds of many of you are bringing, you might be particularly interested in our technology strategy and product management track, which is designed to help prospective product managers or to help further advance existing product managers within that industry, within that field. We also offer a concentration in business analytics and a completely separate Master's of Science in Business Analytics as well, if that's something that you're interested in also. We also offer dual degree programs such as software engineering, which combines the best of Tepper and the School of Computer Science, which is consistently ranked in the top 3 computer science programs in the world. Right. A little bit here about our specialized AI concentration. So we were one of the first MBAs to launch a specific concentration in AI, and I think that's important because Carnegie Mellon is known as the birthplace of artificial intelligence, of modern artificial intelligence. The AI and business concentration at Tepper is designed to equip you with the skills and knowledge you needed to excel in a rapidly evolving business landscape where AI continues to play a central role. You're going to have the opportunity to customize your MBA by selecting a minimum of 18 credits focused on AI if you wish. This allows you to tailor your education to match your specific career goals and ensure that you gain the expertise most relevant to your future. Right. We offer a range of innovative courses with more being added every year. Some of these courses include AI and ethics, which is a huge topic right now, business language analytics, and machine learning for business. These courses provide you with practical hands-on experience applying AI to real-world business problems. Um, as I said, our course offerings continuously update to reflect the latest advancements in AI. As we build our leadership in AI-driven business solutions, you will be at the forefront of this dynamic field, learning from cutting-edge experts and world-renowned faculty at Carnegie Mellon. We also believe in global immersion here. Our capstone projects allow you to work with international companies like Domrock on go-to-market strategies for data intelligence problems. Um, recent, uh, stu- Recent students have traveled to Tokyo, Bangkok, Lisbon, all to engage in these international capstone projects that we do with international companies. In fact, I was most recently with our students as they went to Tokyo and we're working on a host of different projects. I believe that we had about 15 teams participate in that. I'll also be traveling with our students to Bogota, Colombia this year to work with them on their capstones as well over fall break in October. We also offer, through our Accelerate Leadership Center, more opportunities for you to get hands-on experience in leadership. One of our hallmark programs here is the Gola Board Fellows program. So Board Fellows, through this program, our students serve as non-voting members of nonprofit boards while leading a strategic project that's aligned with that organization's priorities. All of these nonprofits are based in Pittsburgh, and you're getting real world experience on what it's like to strategically lead an organization while being responsible for the strategic direction of that institution and for prioritizing its goals. It helps helps redefine some purpose in leadership, provide some real world boardroom experience. And Global Capital Board Fellows is a national network throughout the United States as well, and it helps increase your network while you're attaining your MBA. We also offer what's called the Zenith Leadership Development Program. And to best do this, I'll let our students speak on this program for themselves.
I think that Zenith is special because it offers students a space to become their full 360 self at the perfect combination of creative with quantitative.
The Zenith program came about in collaboration with one of our alumni, Keishi Hatsuki, as we were talking about the importance of emotional intelligence in our students getting to the next level of leadership.
Zenith is a one-year leadership development program for second-year MBAs at the Tepper School of Business. It really thrives because it capitalizes on the interdisciplinary strengths of Carnegie Mellon.
One of our challenges was how to translate our own ideas onto paper in a way that brought our teams along with us. What Zenith has brought to life for me is how to continually actually work on those skills and improve them.
It's not as linear as we think in business. So it's been a really great way to learn about how to apply that to leadership.
Mapping out my ideas into a visual depiction has really helped me unlock new ways of thinking and unlock innovation that I wouldn't have thought of. It's a refreshing experiment for us, learning how to approach problems from a different perspective.
Zenith has been a place where I could look forward 20, 30 years, think of the leader that I plan to be. And I don't get that in too many other places.
We had an opportunity at Zenith to do a skit writing agility lab, and it's something that I've never done in my life. That exercise unlocked something in me that says I should really lean into my wit and humor because of all the people that I'm connecting with in this room who have never met me before.
Is the things that make us intrinsically human, like creative inquiry, emotional intelligence. Those are the things that will advance people in their leadership.
All right, so that is the Zenith Leadership Development Program for our second year MBA students. Sorry. So I know that this is probably the information that you're waiting for here, the ROI of the MBA, right? We know that career ROI is a top priority among our students and among our candidates. Here you can see some of our 2025 employment data that shows that CMU Tepper graduates are highly sought after by top tier firms and industries. So consulting and finance are our leading industries with significant placement in marketing and general management as well. Our graduates are entering the workforce as data fluent leaders ready for an AI economy and with in-demand skills. We can also see here some of our top companies from 2025. As I'm sure that should come as no surprise to anybody, given Carnegie Mellon's ties to the tech world. Google, Amazon, Microsoft are all major players within our employment strategy. We also have great representation from consulting firms such as MBB and Deloitte, as well as PwC, and then financial organizations such as Capital One, as well as Goldman Sachs are among our top employers as well. So some of the crux here of what you're hoping for, the application. So for the MBA application, we do require a few different components here. So we do require, resumes, transcripts, and test scores. Those are key to your application. And of course, test scores, we accept the GMAT, GRE, and executive assessment. This is, of course, for the Tepper School. Other programs will require other tests. The Tepper School also offers test waivers for certain qualified candidates, which I can get into later. We also require an English proficiency exam, either the TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo assessment. Unless your main language in your university was English, we also need your university to state that the mode of education was English. We have 2 essays. You pick one of our written essays to write about, and then we also have a video essay too, where you discuss your career goals. We require 1 professional recommendation and supporting documentation, and of course the application fee. If any of you are interested in applying to any of the Tepper School programs, your application fee will be a waive for attending today. After all of that is done, my team reviews every single application by hand, and then we send out invitations for our evaluative interview. Now, I know that there has been some questions about this, but I do want to talk a little bit about what makes the ideal candidate. There is no one solution. There is no one checklist that we are looking for. It is truly a holistic process. So whenever I tell a candidate, hey, the ideal candidate is you, I'm looking for candidates who have leadership potential, who've made a professional impact in their careers already, who come with a collaborative mindset and a desire to grow within a community, and who are comfortable with data and math. I'm not looking for people who have advanced degrees in those fields, but you have to have a certain comfort with this because we are a quantitatively based program. Keeping all of that in mind, I do want to call out some of our deadlines here. So our application for fall 2027 intake, can't believe it's fall 2027 intake already, that will open up on September 30th. And for our international candidates, our candidates outside of the US, we will accept those applications until March 3rd. We cut off international admission on March 3rd in order to account for processing time for visas. By the time our decisions get out, it would be toward the end of April, and we don't want to extend that time frame for you to secure your visa any further than that. I'd love for y'all to continue connecting with us. I provided a couple QR codes there for our LinkedIn, as well as for some of our events. I do want to shout out that one of my colleagues, Trey Coles, he will be in India at the end of July. So please visit our event page to find out specific locations and to register for those events, and hopefully you can meet Trey while he's on the road. I have other colleagues who will be going to Indonesia, Japan, South America, and Central America throughout this academic year as well. But I thank you all for paying attention to me here, gush about Tepper, and I'm looking forward to addressing some of the questions that you had sent in.
Yeah, thank you, Tony, for that very comprehensive presentation on what you really look for and how the school assess the applications. And I think it's time we look at those questions already posed by the students. And if you have additional questions, as I mentioned at the beginning, you can definitely post them in the general chat box. Allow me to share my screen. Okay. So as we rightly said, we are going to play your voices to Tony, and so that he can certainly answer most of your questions. So we'll go ahead now with the next set of questions. Yeah. So the first question is, beyond GPA and test scores, what characteristics most consistently distinguish successful international applicants for CMU admission and merit scholarships? Though you touch base, I'd like to hear from you.
Great question. Absolutely. Happy to answer. So as I believe I said in the presentation, strong academics really are the foundation of that application, right? We want to make sure that you are able to, well, be successful in the program, right? You're going into a degree granting program. We want to make sure that you're successful throughout that program. But quite honestly, strong academics rarely distinguish applicants on their own. Many of the most successful candidates that I have worked with are able to demonstrate impact, whether that is professional or through other means. Maybe they're volunteering with an organization outside of work. They're demonstrating initiative and a clear sense of purpose, right? Why is this the right path for them to pursue? We look for evidence that applicants have challenged themselves academically, contributed meaningfully in professional, research, or leadership settings, like I mentioned. And again, they can articulate why a specific CMU program is the right fit for them and their goals. For merit-based scholarships, I believe that bar is set even higher, right? Scholarships recipients typically combine that academic excellence with demonstrated leadership, professional achievement, or significant contributions to their community.
Yeah. So that's a great answer, Tony. I mean, to summarize, I'm sure the university is looking for impactful applicants. It's just not only the academics, and it's a holistic that they have to provide so that the university is able to admit them. Thank you. And we move on to the next question. How does CMU evaluate applicants differently for research intensive programs versus professionally oriented master's programs?
Yeah, so even though I don't work on a research-oriented program, I do have colleagues in there, and I know that they tend to place greater emphasis on academic preparation, right? Research experience, publications, faculty recommendations, and evidence of that intellectual curiosity within a specific field, right? Maybe you've engaged in various internships at different institutions or companies that are related to that area. For professionally oriented master's programs like the MBA, we generally take a more holistic approach. So my admissions committee often places greater weight on professional experience, leadership potential. Not to say that you've already been a manager for X number of years, but how are you demonstrating that leadership if you don't have a formal managerial role? How are your communication skills? What is your teamwork like? What are your career goals? And of course, your ability to contribute to that classroom experience. In both cases, I think this concept of fit really matters. Applicants should always demonstrate a strong understanding of how the program aligns with their academic as well as the professional objectives for both types of programs.
Yeah, I think I'm sure somebody had the question about doing a PhD at the CMU and also moving on to an MBA after the PhD. I'm sure this answer would help them to know how they have to really plan their application. Fantastic.
Yes,
yeah.
I have had many PhD applicants, and we always ask them the same question. Why the MBA after you have this pinnacle of education?
Correct. Fantastic. Thanks, Tony. We'll move to the next question. I think this is probably the most standard question most of the students ask when they apply to CMU. Which carries the greatest weight? Research, internships, technical projects, publications, competitions, or work experience?
Yeah, I think in short, it depends on the program that you're applying to, right? Again, if it's a research-oriented degree versus a professional preparation, but truly there rarely is, at least in my experience, a single factor that outweighs all others. Admissions committees are typically looking for evidence, again, that the student can succeed in that highly rigorous technical environment. Research can be valuable for those research focused programs, internship and work experience for the business school, right? Um, Strong technical projects, they can showcase initiative, problem solving ability. Publications, competitions, they provide additional evidence of excellence in that particular area, right? The strongest applicants can usually present a combination of these experiences rather than rely on a single accomplishment. When we look at the US admissions process versus, for example, the Indian admissions process, the US admissions process is very much a holistic evaluation, right? I've worked with many Indian candidates, and I know that it comes down to a lot of times the tests and the marks
Yeah.
that you receive and the high schools that you have attended. In the US, that doesn't matter as much as presenting the whole of the person to the admissions committee and the sum of your experiences.
Yeah, that's fantastic. But what I actually noticed from all the three answers that is very consistent from you is that there is evidence that needs to be given for any kind of work that the student does. Communication skills and alignment with your goals and the program.
Mhm.
I think these
Absolutely.
are, I feel, are the key, right, for a student to be successful. Yeah.
Yep,
We move to the
100%.
next. Yeah, thank you, Tony. We move to the next question. As we move to the next question, I once again request all the participants to avail the one-on-one expert consultation, and that would help you to talk to our experienced advisors and also help you to plan your higher education abroad. So before we move to the next question, here is a quick poll. Where are you currently in your study abroad journey? This will largely help us in guiding you the right way. So please take this poll. So there are more number of people who are in the explorative phase. That's interesting. Though I see some of them under shortlisting universities. Some are building profiles. That's fantastic. I think from whatever Tony has shared with us, you will understand the value of a profile. Don't do anything for the sake of doing it, but do it with which really aligns with your goals and career moves. Tony, I think you would agree with me. It's not the number, it's the impact that causes, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you. And I think we move to the next segment of questions. Okay, we only have 67% of participation. So more folks are on answering the question. So interesting to know that majority of the participants today have started exploring their options. Fantastic. And I think this will be the right session for you because this gives you the insight about how an institution really evaluate your application and what is needed to be the most wanted student. Wish you good luck. And this is where you really need the one-on-one expert advising. So we move to the next one. Okay, so the next question is, to what extent does relevant work experience strengthen an application and career outcomes for CMU master's programs?
Yes. So in my world, in MBA admissions, that is the crux, right? It is crucial that you have work experience. In fact, less than 1% of our current MBA students have less than a year's worth of work experience. And a lot of that comes down to the recruiting process at the end of the MBA. Many companies want to know that you know how to comport yourself in a professional setting. So it's crucial that you're coming in with work experience. But overall, relevant work experience really significantly strengthens an application, in my view. It helps demonstrate maturity, leadership potential, industry knowledge, and it can clarify your career goals. If you were to ask 22-year-old Tony at the end of his undergrad what he wanted to do with no work experience, he wanted to be a high school teacher for the next 30 years. Clearly, that plan changed as I got exposed to more and more opportunities and as I navigated my career. But students who enter graduate school with prior professional experience often have an easier time connecting classroom learning to those practical challenges that they're facing, especially in the business curriculum. And you may have broader internship and, as I said, recruiting opportunities as well. Just making sure, again, that you know exactly what that degree you're going for, what those intended outcomes are. So if you're going for something like a degree in software engineering, you might not necessarily need the work experience, right? That might be more of a research-based degree. You're looking to get your job directly after that. But something for the MBA, it is definitely crucial to have that work experience.
Thank you for that important point that you highlighted, how the work experience really plays in the application. I think there are some master students, who are actually aspiring for an MS in computer science. I'm sure your answer would have helped them understand whether work experience is required or not. Yeah, as we always advise, please refer to the university website and the program if in case it needs those additional, requirements, depending on the program you choose. Okay, we move on next. What separates an average statement of purpose from one that genuinely strengthens an application? So a very important question.
Absolutely. In my experience, the average statement has only talked about accomplishments, right? Where you've gotten at the end of something. It doesn't take me on the journey. A strong statement takes me on that journey and it explains decisions that led up to those accomplishments, right? Where were you at a pivotal point in your decision-making process? How did you come up with that decision? Compelling essays really help us understand why the applicant pursued certain opportunities over others, what their learning outcomes were from those experiences, how those experiences help shape their goals, and of course, why Carnegie Mellon is the right next step for them. Strong essays are specific. They feel authentic. They feel reflective. I feel like I'm getting to know the person. They connect past experiences to those future aspirations and really demonstrate a thoughtful understanding of the program. And I think that's also important to know too. And I'm sure that the consultants over at Galvanize stress this too. Be intentional about the programs that you're applying to. Right? You can get caught in the trap of applying to too many programs, and then you lose that specificity when you're writing. So make sure that you are intentionally targeting your programs to be specific and to create these strong essays.
Yeah, that's a very pertinent point, Tony, whatever you mentioned. But may I take, the advantage of asking you another question related to that, though it may not be coming from a student. So I think with the market flooded with all the AI tools and other things, how difficult is it for you to differentiate a genuinely crafted statement of purpose and those that was generated by any AI tool?
As AIs continue to develop and improve, it's been getting tougher. I will admit it's been getting tougher to distinguish, but AI cannot replicate human experience. It cannot. It cannot walk us through something that specific happened in your life. It's still very general. It's still very generic, and AI tends to use certain phrases over and over again, and then you start seeing these repetitions in essays, and that's pretty much a giveaway. But you were the only one who's lived your life, and you're the only one who can speak to sort of those. Forgive me for using Disney and Pixar terminology, those core memories, right? You're the only one who's lived through that and can sort of replicate that emotion that you felt. AI can't mimic your emotion.
Thank you so much, Tony, for bringing in that important aspect of your genuinity and your emotional aspect. Because, yeah, honestly, AI cannot bring in that on any of your application. Fantastic. And I hope all the participants have taken a note of it. It's important that you start working on your statement of purpose. And if you really want to discuss the strategy, you can always connect with our expert advisors at the Galvanize Education, and they can help you through this process as well. So let's move on. Okay, this is a very, very interesting question, and I think this is going to throw open many insights, I guess. What is the most common mistake you see highly capable international applicants make when applying to CMU?
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. So probably the number one, and I talked a little bit about this earlier. Many qualified applicants really heavily focus on credentialing, right, and not enough on the overall narrative of their application. Like I mentioned, the Indian education system, it is all about the credentialing, right? What school you attended, what your test scores were, what your marks were, everything like that. You're presenting these excellent grades, test scores, internships, projects, but there isn't the connection to the long-term goals or why a particular program, degree, track, concentration is the right fit. You're leaving it up to the reader to assume that. And believe me, admissions readers, we have very wild imaginations. So it's not always a direct line from your credentials to your goals. You have to connect those dots for us. We have to understand why you've picked our program, why you've picked these tracks, why this fit. And I keep saying that word fit over and over again, why that fit is right for you. We as admissions committees are not just evaluating what you've done, but also how you're thinking and how you're planning to get there.
Yeah, very rightly said. And I know it's such a difficult task to understand what someone is trying to communicate. I know the hardship all the application readers go through. So that's where the students have to make a conscious understanding of how do you really make your application a holistic one and also well connected, and it aligns with your the past, the future, and the present. Yeah. So that's very, very important. And in line with that, what comes here is about the profile building activities. I know that we are actually talking about more of graduate admissions here, but during undergraduate studies, what would be your advice for someone to build profile, depending on any master's program?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I don't want to negate the undergraduate experience at all. It does factor into your graduate application. And Shanti, I think something that you said earlier too qualifies for this. It's not about the quantity, but the quality of the experiences that you're doing, right? Many students think that accumulating activities is going to be the key, right? Oh, I was in 12 clubs and I did all these different activities, but again, you can't speak to it, right? You're not able to talk about the depth and the impact. That's what we should be focusing on here, right? What are those meaningful experiences from your undergraduate that have helped shape you, that have helped inform that path that you want to go on? Some things that have stuck out to me have been internships with significant responsibilities, or internships where I've had one student in particular who had the opportunity to do an internship at his family's business, but he realized that that might not be the best path for him, because he might not be as challenged at the family business as he would be at a different company where he wasn't related to anybody. So they picked that external internship, right? Technical projects, entrepreneurial projects that help solve real world problems. I see tons of excellent entrepreneurial endeavors from India all of the time from our applicants, trying to connect local artisans with digital banking, for example. Leadership roles show us that depth of impact. Teaching, mentoring, community engagement of some time, presentations at conferences, competition achievements. Those are some of those things that help show us that depth of experience.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. I mean, I'm sure students would be able to relate to the answers that you have given, because oftentimes students come to us saying that I have done 5 publications and 1 research. Am I eligible to apply for a PhD program? Yeah. Whatever Tony said is applicable to every single discipline that you're considering. It's the impact, the relativity, and as well as how you are actually projecting it, or how you are actually communicating to the university. I think now next question is, this is a common worry across not only Indian students. I feel any student that I meet when they want to apply to a country, they are worried about scholarships. So what funding options are really available for international students? And if you can throw light on what sort of profiles would really get this. I know there is no one definitive answer, but at least if you can throw some light.
Yeah, I'll try to throw some light. Maybe I'll give a bit of an insider secret as well.
That's great.
Whenever you look at cost of attendance online, you always see the sticker price, right? If you're looking at a car, you see a sticker price for the overall car, and you know that you have to negotiate to get that price down. Same with US universities. Nobody ever pays full price for the degree. There is always some opportunity for merit-based aid, something along those lines. I'm speaking for the MBA in particular. Funding does vary significantly by program. For example, for the MBA, we do offer merit-based scholarships, and every single one of our candidates who is admitted is considered for a merit-based scholarship. On average, over the past year, I believe that our average scholarship was about 40% across our incoming first-year MBA class. But other programs will offer fellowships, assistantships, research positions. It behooves every student, regardless of the degree they're going to ask that of the admissions office that you're working with, right? PhDs in particular, they are great for offering teaching assistantships, which can help cover or reduce the cost of tuition. Same with certain research positions. But again, most competitive scholarship candidates, they typically combine those strong academic performances, leadership experience, quantitative preparation, and a clear vision for future impact. Of course, there are some organizations that help provide external funding, some external scholarships. If you're fortunate enough to be in a country where government-sponsored funding is available, and of course, the dreaded loan word as well.
Thank you, Tony, for throwing definitely a brighter light on that aspect. Because we always tell the students, the strategy needs to be when you're thinking about higher education abroad, and you definitely require financial support, either in forms of scholarships or grants or loans, etc. Start that search in the beginning itself, so that amplifies your strategy to get good admissions and supported by funding, so that you are definitely going to land in the dream institution that you're thinking about. And thank you and it's interesting to note 40% of scholarship at the Tepper School of Business. And I'm sure that would entice many students. And do remember that if you're thinking about it, you need to really build your profile as how Tony explained so far to us. So we'll now move to the next question. Okay. What personal and professional traits do you consistently see among students who thrive at CMU and succeed after graduation?
Yeah, I think that this is incredibly common among all of our Carnegie Mellon graduate students. They tend to be intellectually curious. you have to be going back to school, right? You want to be exploring new topics, new concepts, and learning how to apply those to your future craft. Our students are resilient. The programs are difficult. It is a rigorous school, so you have to know how to get up after you may have been knocked down academically. They are collaborative. They're always seeking new opportunities to work with one another, even across disciplines, and they're proactive as well. They're not sitting and waiting for somebody to offer help. They're going out and seeking help, or they're seeking connection. That they are really being their own best advocate. Right? As I keep saying, Carnegie Mellon, we're known for our rigor. Successful students are comfortable in tackling these complex problems, seeking feedback and working across disciplines and adapting to new challenges. Professionally, they're strong communicators, right? And they have this ability to really take complex technical expertise and translate that into actionable real world impact, as well as we've seen through some initiatives that have come out of CMU, especially Duolingo for one of them.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. And I think, yeah, being interdisciplinary is the mandatory, I think, in the current world. And CMU gives fantastic opportunities for students, as you rightly explained in the beginning in your presentation about the various concentration, the depth and the breadth of programs that students can definitely avoid. As we move along, I see there are quite a few questions coming up in our general chat as well. Maybe we take a few of them before we move with some of the other questions.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, so I have an interesting question by a student, as you rightly discussed in the beginning in one of the questions that we had. A PhD student in climate modeling, AI and environment would like to do an MBA in climate finance, where he wants to practice technology with quantum climate modeling, forecasting, and climate finance. So is it possible? So the student question is, how can I really do this sort of a program?
Wow, that is a pat question. Okay.
Yeah.
First, definitely try to find an MBA that's going to support that type of specialization. Off the top of my head, I do not know many that are specifically in that climate finance area that might be looking at concentrations in sustainability, finance. I'm seeing some operations in there, doing some interdisciplinary work as well with the possibly environmental engineering programs of whatever school that may be. I think what it's going to come down to is making your case, right? Selling your pitch. Why is this the right path for you? Why, after obtaining, again, PhD, you're creating new knowledge. You are at the apex of what you're doing within climate modeling. Why do you need the MBA to get you to your goal of what you want to do?
I hope, I think this question is from Mazo. I hope, Mazo, it answered your question. It's such an interesting question. So I wanted to take a break and answer that for you. There's one more from a student, and I know this is a very standard question for most of the students. What is the minimum GRE score to apply at CMU?
So it's going to depend upon the program, but for Tepper, we actually do not have a minimum score. Right? If we are being truly holistic in our process, we do not set minimums.
Yeah.
I have admitted students with what some may consider to be less than desirable scores before, but there have been other elements of their application that have made them standout candidates. So for Tepper programs, there is no minimum.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. And I would like to bring your point that mentioned for earlier questions. Just don't stand only on the credentials and matching them.
Yes.
There is a whole lot of element to an application. So please look at the larger picture when you're applying to the university. And I know these are not the questions only asked by students like you, and some of you may not have asked us any questions, but definitely this runs in most of your mind. If in case you're really wondering how you can plan your the entire process, I would certainly encourage you to think about availing our, special advisor session. So you can discuss with them about your strategy. And I think we've been posting the link in our general chat. Please click that and you can fill in your information. So we move to the next question for the day. Yeah, I think too many questions. Now it's time to understand where we stand. A quick poll. What is your biggest concern about studying in the US? Tony, that's going to be an interesting poll for you too.
I have a feeling I know what it's going to be.
So the concerns that we are looking at is admission chances, scholarships and affordability, career outcomes, visa, job market uncertainty, choosing the right program. What do you think would top the list, Tony?
Well, I don't want to influence anything right now.
Okay, fine.
But there are two that I think could take it.
Yeah. So I see that most of the students are leaning towards scholarships and affordability of education as their primary concern when it comes to US. The next probably that when I say top three, first is scholarship and affordability. The second is admission chances, and the third is the visa or job market uncertainty. The rest, like career outcomes and choosing the right program, it's not a concern because this is where students need to build a strategy, understand how they are going to go through their funnel of shortlisting universities so that they end up picking the right one at the end of it. So can you add some pointers to this, Tony, if you can?
Yeah. So I think it's important to focus on the elements that we can control, right? So visa, job market uncertainty, that's out of everybody's control, unfortunately, right? So admissions chances are there, scholarships are there. I think what's important is, again, following that strategy of making sure that you are presenting yourself as a whole candidate, right? Not just the credentials. Don't rely solely on the GPA and the test score to get you through. Make sure that you are constructing an easily followable, an easily digestible narrative for the admissions committee that clearly outlines the steps you're taking through your degree and post-degree life, right? Making sure that it is all making sense, that that narrative is there, that the admissions committee really sees a clear picture of who you are and why you are the right fit and the program is the right fit for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for adding your valuable inputs to that. So the next question is, how does CMU support, though you have answered in the beginning, how does CMU support international students in securing internships, research opportunities, and full-time roles after graduation?
Yeah, so the university offers extensive career support through oftentimes program-specific career centers. So for example, at the Tepper School, we have a dedicated master's career center that is only for Tepper's master's students. So for our MBA candidates, our MS in business analytics, and our Master of Science in Management students. They get exclusive employer partnerships, alumni networks, career coaching, workshops, career recruiting events, networking events that are only dedicated to them. So they're not competing with the other students at the university. Students also benefit from access to faculty research, right? Interdisciplinary collaboration, possibly through the Swartz Center for Entrepreneurship, and student organizations. These are all helping to contribute to build your network for you to go out and market yourself for those post degree jobs or those internships as well. We really try to provide substantial resources, but again, I will say it's on the student too, right? Students who tend to be proactive and engaged really maximize those opportunities and are frequent flyers, so to speak, in those offices that help them on their career journey.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony, for giving an insight to how the Career Resource Center works and how students can really scout for other opportunities as well. I have one question in my direct chat box. Though I don't know, we have never spoken about professional degrees in this presentation, but there is a question from one of the students who's asking about, is there something that a student pursuing their law degree in India can look for at CMU Tepper School of Business?
So I have had international lawyers join the program before,
Okay.
and typically they've been looking to possibly start their own practice in their home country after finishing the MBA. But the MBA can really take you anywhere that you're looking to go, right? If you're looking to make a pivot into a different career, possibly, you would just have to see how that connection is taking place, right? If you're saying that you want to go into consulting, for example, why are you looking to go? How are you drawing that line from consulting from law, right? Have that make sense to us. But it is possible. I have seen that many times before.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, that's interesting. We do see that even doctors move to MBA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's-
yes, many times.
Okay. So that way, MBA gives them a lot of flexibility in terms of.
Even in the US, I've had a private piano teacher
Okay.
earn his MBA from us.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Okay. So the next is about, having spoken about internship and everything, the next question is always about the career outcomes. So this is also one of the strong reasons for students choosing some of these, valuable MBA programs or MS programs at CMU or any other institutions in the US. So how would you really take this question and give an answer to the students about salary trajectories?
Yeah. So career outcomes, especially from Tepper, other master's programs, CMU graduates are consistently recruited by leading organizations, right? Across consulting, finance, technology, healthcare, manufacturing, AI, product management. Pretty much any of the current modern in-demand skills, they're being looked at for CMU graduates, right? For Tepper MBA graduates, common destinations include consulting, product management, finance, strategy, technology, leadership roles. Salary trajectories, quite honestly, we have just seen them climb from year to year. This past year for 2025, I believe that the average starting salary from our class was about $156,000 per year. Factoring in bonus, I think that was up to like 172, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little bit more. And again, that's just an average, right? Depending on the industry, on the function, it could be higher, it could be lower. But our graduates are consistently placed within top aspirant companies. This past year, one of the students that I worked with, he was able to convert his offer from NVIDIA into a full-time job. I believe that he starts in July, right? So, for a candidate to get into NVIDIA with no prior experience in that realm, I think that's pretty huge.
Fine. Thank you. I mean, that's interesting to note that average salaries, and I'm sure that it have given an idea to students because most of them look at an ROI once they complete the program. Actually, one point that I would like to ask you here is not part of this, but it just came to my mind. See, there are instances where people say the institution from where you graduate is more important to land in better careers versus it's your profile, it's you as a student and the skill that you bring in really gets you the best job. So in an Indian scenario, it is slightly different, but I would like to understand from you as a general US perspective, what would you say? or rather, I put it this way, how much impact a brand, the institution causes when you look for a job?
So according to some of the most recent research that we've seen, the brand matters when you are immediately seeking the position outside of your degree, right? So once you are graduated in those first 6 months or so, that brand is crucial. And that
Okay.
continues to be crucial for about 2 to 3 years out. After that, we tend to see your own network starting to take shape and help moving your career forward. So I think it's more of a mix of both throughout your entire trajectory as a professional. But definitely within that first 6 months to 2 years of graduating, that brand is by far important.
Okay, that really makes sense. Thanks for taking up that question. We are
Of course.
a little past our session. Maybe I have a couple of more questions before we wind up the session. Is that okay with you, Tony?
Let me double check. Yes, I don't have anything till 11 o'clock my time, so I have about another
Okay.
half hour free.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I would be really quick on this because this is a continuation question to this. So it talks about, given the current US job market and visa discussions, what should international students realistically understand about long-term career planning in the US?
Yeah. Again, I said it earlier. Unfortunately, that is out of our control, right?
Yeah.
US job market, visa impacts, those are out of our control. I think students still need to approach career planning, though, with ambition and with flexibility. Despite some of the hurdles that are coming up, the
Yeah.
US continues to offer exceptional opportunities for talented graduates, particularly those who are going into STEM fields, healthcare, business. But international students should understand that securing internships and full-time roles in the US do require preparation. It requires strong networking, really being prepared for the interviews and that persistence and resilience, right? You are probably going to hear no more times than you hear yes, and that I think that's across the board. But rather focusing exclusively on the visa discussions, focus on building those skills, focus on gaining that practical experience, and especially developing that network. Those factors are in your control. You can directly influence them. And again, those make significant impacts in your career outcomes.
Very well said, Tony. And this is it's absolutely useful. And this is the real message that the students should take for the current situation. Yeah, and I think we are moving to our last question. As we move on to the last question, I request all the participants to make sure that you are clicking our one-on-one strategy session, because whatever we discussed here, you could also discuss with one of our expert consultants and they would be able to guide you through the right way. Okay, so this is the last question for the day. As AI reshapes technology and business, what skills and capabilities do you believe will differentiate graduates over the next decade?
Yeah, definitely the technical literacy around AI, right, and around data are becoming more and more important. Those who know how to use AI and how to deeply know how to use AI will be more and more crucial as this technology starts developing. But we still need some of those soft skills, right? We need some of those transferable skills. Graduates still need to be able to think analytically. They need to be able to problem solve. They need to be able to display empathy, communication, creativity, and collaborate cross-functionally. AI is great for automating certain things, but we as humans still have to learn how to develop and how to define problems, make sound judgments, and lead teams, lead people. AI can't replicate that leadership work that you're going to be developing in these programs. The ability to work effectively at that intersection of technology, business, human behavior. It's going to be, I think, probably one of the most valuable skill sets as we approach this next decade.
Thank you so much, Tony, for patiently fielding all the questions. And I think we have almost finished all the questions. And I think I have a quick note to share with students about how Galvanize can really help them. And also want to showcase proudly the Galvanize Global Education students who are either at Carnegie Mellon right now and those who finished over the years. So these are our 10 proud students who had their education in Carnegie Mellon University. If you also want to take the journey, please do connect with us. And we have been sharing the link in the general chat. Please click that to meet one of us. So the reason is just aspiration alone cannot take you to what you want to do. So aspiration combined with the right strategy will certainly help you get to your dream university like Carnegie Mellon. And I just wanted to give a short note on how we really help students. So it's like a 6-stage process. The onboarding is the first set. This is where we were telling you all this while. You can connect with us and take an profile evaluation calls to understand where you really stand. Then comes the university shortlisting. And once you identify through a strategy, the right fit universities, which Tony has been mentioning right from the beginning, the right fit is very, very important, not only for the university, but also for the program. And we help you go through the complete documentation, helping you craft a compelling statement of purpose, telling you or helping you facilitate to get strong letters of recommendation. And with that, you should be able to get good admissions. And after admissions, we also support you with your visa. And sometimes the financing would come soon after that, getting an offer. So whatever is it, we help you with that as well. And eventually, when you are ready to take off from India, we help you with your pre-departure. That includes your travel plan, booking tickets or Forex, or even connecting with the students who are already there at that university. We would provide you the entire service. So this is what I mentioned in the beginning. We give an absolute one-on-one customized solution to every student who reach out to Galvanize Global Education. So this is our final poll for today. We request everybody to quickly take this. Would you like a free one-on-one consultation with the top admissions advisor? I'm sure you're not going to say no to it. It's a free one-on-one call so that it helps you to evaluate yourself better. Okay. Thank you for taking this poll. And I think I'll keep moving because I don't want to wait until the poll starts. Okay, so this is just a snapshot for you to say how our test prepping works, the features of our platform and the benefits that you get as a student. I would say it's just one-stop solution for you. You can prep for the test and as well as prep for your application process. So don't forget to scan the QR code and book your one-on-one top 100 strategy call with our admissions experts. And I thank everyone who joined us in this session. And also a big thank you to Dr. Tony Gomez, who's been patient enough to answer all our questions and also gave a comprehensive insight to how the admission process work at the Tepper School of Business, Carnegie Mellon University, and also the expectations and how students should align and present a strong application to the university. I wish everyone good luck with your higher education journey, and we would be more than happy to help you in this process. On behalf of Galvanize Education, I'm signing off now and wish you a good night, and to some of you, the rest of the day. And Tony, have a great day with more meetings.
Thank you. Thank you all for attending. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Shanti. Thanks, Tony, for joining today's session. I
Yep.
hope all have enjoyed and all your questions have been answered by Shanti and Tony. Thanks, guys. See you again. Meet you soon.